Too many photographers chase those tripod holes. You know, those famous over photograph spots that everybody sees on social media. Or if you're out and about and you go into a visitor center, they're all the same images. If you want your work to stand out and support your business, you need to approach scouting differently. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Welcome to Capture and Connect. Insight, challenges, and proven strategies to help you take your passion for photography and turn it into an income-generating business. And now here's your host, Janice Sullivan.
Now, I did do an episode that you'll see right here. It's called Photography Business Tips, How to Plan Creative Shoots that Sell. Watch that one first if you haven't really planned anything yet. This is more about scouting once you get there. And I want to thank Treasure Scott. He had asked me about scouting and how I do it. And I'm like, that's such a great podcast. I want to focus on scouting, what we do in our business to be creative and how to go about it. If you've scouted before, you may already have some ideas, but maybe I'll give you something new to think about. Today, I really want to talk about what happens when we're in the location. So you already did the plan. You kind of know what you're focused on, what you want to shoot. But I'm going to give you a little bit more details of how I truly scout, which is, for me, a lot of fun. And hopefully it won't make it so daunting for those of you that don't like to scout, that just want to go out there and shoot. So here's the real purpose of scouting. It's really about going to your place that you truly want to go to and not just feeling just like winging it as a business entrepreneur, a photographer that has a business. You don't want to waste time. Time is money. And plus, you want to have fun. So I really start my scouting with maps. And I will talk about the things that I use in my phone and other ways. But actually, before I even go there to the actual place, for me, I actually have a folder. And in that folder has the location, my ideas, some notes, and maps of different areas. Maybe I've printed it off of Google, but these are all things that are in one folder for my shoot. I search everything there is within that location, food, everything, just so when we get there, the scouting's a little bit more fun and more relaxed, and I feel comfortable. This is especially important if you've never been to a particular location. But let's just say you have been in a location, but you want to try something different. Just start in the very beginning to look at the maps, look at the areas, and go from there. Yeah, and the maps are really important. For me, I like to print some areas that I know that may be remote and might have some problems. And I might have problems with service on my phone or internet, all that kind of fun stuff. I like to even highlight different things on the map and just get an overall vibe of what I want to do. Throw it in a binder or folder. You can make a folder on your laptop if you're bringing a laptop, which would be awesome. You can throw all that stuff in there too if you know that you're going to have service. A lot of places that I go to personally may not have service. So before we get going into some really detailed scouting, I just want to let you know that I'm actually in the chat. This is a premiere on YouTube, and I love to chat with you guys there. I am the only professional photographer that has a YouTube channel just for business in the landscape, nature, macro, and fine art fields. So if you're interested in that, you're in the right place. If you're not interested in that, you may want to check out some other videos that I have on shooting. So what I do is my first day of scouting in the location, whether it's a hotel, camper, motorhome, whatever it is, the first day is all about discovery day. It really is about discovery. I don't focus on the pressure of shooting, but my camera, tripod, and everything is with me depending on the hike. Let's just say this, that it really is about getting the feel of the location of where I'm going, even if I only have 2 days. I'm really taking that first day to get to know the hiking trails or the different locations. It's all about where I can position myself. For me, I love sunsets. You might be a sunrise person, but for me, I'm thinking in my mind as we're driving around and hiking and looking, what kind of images could this location offer? Could it be a panoramic or just a regular zoom shot or a 50 millimeter? Or it could be a macro shoot. By scouting the location, I really study the various captures, the various shoots that I could do. And it gives your creativity direction, which is really fun. And another part of what I do, because I will talk about phone tools and I'm going to talk about other things on finding locations even better. When it comes to scouting, I also pay attention to the people. Like if there's tons of people in the location, sometimes you may have to remove them. I've done that before. I'm going to share with you this image right here. We just started driving around because there were so many people, and I saw the view that I truly loved. And I'm like, Kev, I got to go back here. We got to come back here during sunset. This was all just by driving around, taking my phone, taking a shot, and saying, "Oh, yeah, I wanna come back here because I love it." And it was in a place that had all of these homes. It wasn't even a hiking area. I just knew by driving around and paying attention, looking at things, going, "Oh, I can make this a beautiful shot." Some of these places that I to shoot is not in the more typical areas that you would think, but it's just by getting to know the places and driving around and looking at different hikes and paying attention to people and light. I'll share with you an app that I like to use, but how does the sun come down or come up? All those little things. I believe that one of the reasons why this helps me so much, because I do have my maps and I have my notes, but it doesn't always come out the way it is. But as I take that first day and say to myself, this is a scouting day, it relieves the tension that I have. So we did a hike that was pretty crazy. And I had my phone. And of course, I told you I have my camera with me also. That doesn't mean I'm gonna shoot, but I feel like sometimes the tripod is a little difficult for me to be taking up on these crazy hikes. And I don't know if the shot's there, and if I wanna go back, then I will go back because I give myself 2 days always. First days to really go out and investigate, and the second day is to actually shoot. So, but what if you have the shot, right? So I do bring my camera. Most of the time, I put my 50 millimeter because it's very light. I don't do a lot of wide angles. I'm a 50 millimeter 70 to 200 girl. I don't know what you are, but I do try to make it easy for me on the first day. And if I know that I have a good shot by going around and looking at all the places and maybe doing a couple hikes or driving around in places that I was just like, what? I like this view. How can I get this? Having those maps really, really work well. Back in the days before the phone, because I've been photographing for a long time, it was really strictly maps and Thompson guides and all this kind of stuff. But these, I just love the phone. I think the technology is amazing. And I use my phone all the time, especially even if I don't have service, I can use my phone. For scouting, I'll take shots of it vertical, horizontal, on different areas that I'm thinking about photographing. Because when you see it 2D, I mean, back in the days, they used to put their fingers over their eyes when these people were visualizing what they would that what they would on video, what they would shoot, right? They put their little hands over their eyeballs or whatever just to get the perspective and the distraction of 3D because we are 2D people. I really love how the phone can give me a 2D view. I've learned though throughout all the years kind of what I like to shoot and what I don't, but sometimes things are surprising when you put it on the phone, you're like, "Ah, I can make that better. I can make that better." When we get back, we need to get back into our computer and upload all our photos. And I just don't want a bunch of photos that I have to go through. So I think it just works really good to use a phone. You don't have to clutter your card and uploading a bunch of stuff by testing. Now, if you have to test your various lens because you haven't gotten really used to wide, mid, long, or macro, if you haven't or you're trying a new lens, then obviously use your big camera to test lenses, perspectives, right? But as you keep photographing and photographing, you kind of know what a 50 millimeter will do compared to a compressed 200 millimeter, right? And you'll know what a macro will do compared to a non-macro. But uh, I will do in the beginning, I use my lenses to test things out and not be pressured for the shot. Now, I want to go through a couple apps that I love. There's only two that I really use because I've done a lot of research prior with that other video that I was sharing with you. Google is really important to me. I love my sun seeker because it tells me when the sun's rising and then when the sun goes down. That kind of helps me if I don't know the location. But as the first day is going on, I'm really paying attention to the sun. I'm paying attention to how the sun is going up and where it goes down. So then I understand when I get to a various location that that's going to what's going to happen, right? That's the first day. But if I don't know, then the Sunseeker app is really good. Another one that's excellent is All Trails because Kevin and I do a lot of hiking. And All Trails is good where if you have a map, you can download it to your phone and you don't have to have the like I use Verizon or AT&T, right? You just have it on your phone and it knows where you're at. It's pretty cool. So I like the All Trails and that helps me a lot with that. Another app that I love is the compass is really, really cool. I love the compass because it's so easy to get distracted and not know where you're at, especially if you're looking on the maps and you know it's a northern area, you can pay attention on a compass. We do have a military compass that we use, which is pretty amazing and will get you out of those binds. I've almost been in a couple areas where I get so excited about the shoot that I'm not paying attention too much, and that's not really good. When I'm scouting, I am using the phone and doing the shots of the macro, whatever's around in the location that I feel that would be really good for my customers. I will just shoot on my phone and then we can go back to it. And of course, if you do have the locations on, you can go right exactly to the location, which is pretty amazing on your phone. But that doesn't always happen, as we know. Scouting is truly about studying before you capture, and it gives your creativity direction. The reason why I love these tools so much is because it really does help me pay attention and semi predict when a location will look absolutely its best. I want to share with you this really important thing. If you haven't seen my latest podcast on Capture and Connect, Why I Took a Break Photographers and What a Billionaire in Sedona Taught Me About Burnout, then you should go watch that because we all burn out. But the main thing that I did was share with you my story about meeting a person in Sedona. So, this person, just real quick, he's a billionaire. He comes out every single year to Sedona and just shuts down for a whole month. Now, he's not a local, but he comes every year. So he's a semi-local, right? He knows his stuff. I want to instill this into you. I know, I understand the shyness that we have. A lot of us, and I was the same in the beginning, to approach somebody or start a conversation is difficult. Now, once I know you, I'm good. But the initial going and talking to a local to really grab some ideas from them on scouting in different places that maybe other people don't know about, my heart would go thrum, thrum, thrum. I mean, a mile a minute. Speaking of it, just even talking about that still makes me nervous. I got to take my sweater off. Talking to locals in the area is the ticket photographers. People get really excited about their domain, their location. But I want to remind you something. They're probably not photographers, but they do know the areas. They may not know a great place to photograph, but they still know some really good stuff. Conversation with somebody that is in the area could really reveal hidden trails. That's what you learned in the last podcast. You should go check it out if you haven't watched it. There could be small lakes, there can be hidden trails, there can be unique viewpoints that aren't on the map. These are hidden jewels. Now, I want to add this to my asking locals. Us photographers are absolutely amazing. And the groups that you're in, scouting out can be done before you actually get there. For example, Craig, he gave me this wonderful area to photograph. Now, I didn't go there, but I will. And it is one of those tripod holes. It's a beautiful place where the aspens are in New Hampshire, and I definitely want to check it out. I will photograph just because of scouting. I already started my scouting. I already started my maps. I already started looking at the locations. I understand where it's at. I already looked at the images that people have done before. All because of an amazing photographer like Craig that shared with me. So what I'll do is take that, go in there with the tripod holes, get the shot, and then take my perspective and do it differently. And then I planned to go up there and scout out other locations around that area. I do this a lot. So I may have a specific goal. Kevin and I love to go look at gold mining towns and different areas in the desert. And then we look at places that are around the area that I could probably shoot. But all this information is in that folder. That's part of scouting, is keeping it all together in one spot. Another little story I'll give you. Oh my gosh, I did tons of research, maps, pictures, all kinds of goodies on Death Valley. It took me, gosh, probably 8 years until I actually went to Death Valley, and when I got there, I was a little overwhelmed because there was so much to do. But you know what? When we went in there, we drove around, we photographed, we got some really good places to actually shoot. I ended up leaving a and started traveling. I haven't been back to Death Valley. But because I already did my scouting, I got all my information. I have a lot of stuff on my phone. I know when I went, the year that I did my scouting, I did get a couple shots on my phone. I'll go back with my camera, my tripod, my goals, and it's already done. So even though you scout and you don't get the shots, keep everything together. That's another great tip that I want to share with you, because when you're ready to go, you'll have it all. Pick it up. Let's go. We're off. We're going shooting. Okay, so I do want to share with you an experience. I'm going to share this image right now. And I have mentioned it, I believe, in the podcast. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in Capture and Connect, but this image always reminds me to stay ready and be in the present. And what does that mean? We were scouting Joshua Tree National Park, but this moment that you're seeing, the yellow, the sunset was going down, and the way it was hitting the Joshua trees, the light was perfect. Kevin, my husband, has told me so many times, "Are you sure you don't want to stop?" And this area right here, I was like, "Yeah, no. Oh, I can come back," because I was tired. It was an all-day thing that we were scouting. I was absolutely exhausted, and I was being lazy, and he's like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "You know what? Let's just stop. Let's just stop. Let me do this." And it could, because on we know that the scene can change dramatically in seconds. And we don't always get, I haven't even seen a yellow, beautiful sunset in Joshua Tree like this. I've seen a variety of reds and all kinds of stuff, but this was like a perfect moment. So, yes, have a plan, but stay open, because the photographer that you are will balance preparation with presence. My takeaway for scouting is it's never, ever a waste of time. It's what we do when we intentionally want to create work for ourselves and for our clients. So before you go on your next shoot, ask yourself, am I just chasing another tripod hole or am I finding my own perspective? So if you've missed part one, photography business tips, how to plan creative shoots that sell, definitely watch that or listen to that episode and come back so you can focus on actually scouting. And if you're ready to start turning your photography into a real business, grab my free guide at PhotoBiz Method, How to Pick Your Images That Sell. We plan our scouts because we capture what we truly love, and this is how we connect to our clients. I'll see you next week on Capture and Connect. Cheers, my friend. If you would like to get show notes, links that I talk about in the episode, and a bunch of other goodness like freebies to help you build your photography business, then head on over to photobizmethod.com. PHOTOBIZMETHOD.com. See you there.